once again. So Complexity knows what's up. Banning the Clanks here against Reason. Also up 1-0 his Complexity, by the way. Midas, Magnus, Moira, and Parasite are the picks so far. So what are you guys going to go? Oh, yeah, Reason going with Behemoth there. That's the third pick.
Behemoth. Yeah, that's Suicide Behemoth, safe to say. Don't think I've ever seen Recent Gaming actually play Behemoth in the secondary support role. It's always being played by Sane in that Suicide role. So I don't think that this game is going to be any different. And that leaves us Midas in the mid lane and, of course, Moira as the babysitter. The question is Complexity going to yet again run the offensive tri-lane that, well, I guess it's... You could say that it worked out in game number 1. It wasn't necessarily finding the kills. It was mostly thanks to Fuzzyslot playing out of his mind in that mid lane as that Swift blade that actually kept or made Complexity come out of that laning phase in a big advantage. But the idea was definitely there, and they did limit Darklady's farm. So the question is if they are going to do so yet again.
That is. Yeah, the trial lane, it was somewhat successful because I think the locking out of the Dark Lady at least it accomplished. But, yeah, we'll see how this time it maybe goes around if they choose to do that yet again. I will say, Nier, the person you're sitting down for currently, he has obviously some history playing Behemoth, so I don't know if I personally would jump to the conclusion of Suicide Behemoth just yet, but it definitely is possible at the same time. So, Aluna, though, the third pick, coming out here for Complexity, that on top of the Parasite and the Magnus here. But Aluna probably support?
Look, it's a Hammerstorm.
Complexity was all right clicking Hammerstorm themselves, too. Yeah, you couldn't see that, though. I'm actually looking at the other game, too, by the way. Again, this is a match that actually it is pretty significant because these two teams competing to try to not be a bottom 2 team. And Fresh won the first game against Sana Esports, by the way, fairly decisively. They're currently in game number 2, but Sana Esports is actually winning game number 2 by a bit. It seems like 7-2 hero kill lead, only 9 minutes in, but still, they're off to a better start. Martyr being ran by Fresh over there. They do have Clanks as well, though, so we'll keep an eye on that again and see how that one continues to move on there. But
yeah, always fun to watch Clanks games, right?
Always. Totally. We love these Clanks games. No, banned here against Reason for good reason.
All right, Tempest. Haven't seen this hero in quite some time, actually. I'm not entirely sure why this hero has tapered off. I just think it's so amazingly freaking awesome. It got, of course, early aggression. It got a push. It got a team fight. It got late game factor. It got everything, more or less. So very curious for why people aren't picking it up or valuing it higher than they currently are. Of course, there is the Parasite on the Hellborn side already, so they already got that taken care of. Obviously, if it's going to last until late game, then we could see a Restoration Stone on the Tempest, and obviously then Parasite is not going to be able to cancel both of the ultimates.
Yeah, Tempest definitely has taken a little bit of a fall. I agree there, and it's a little unfortunate because he's obviously one of the more entertaining heroes to cast as well, in general, for sure. With the Elemental Void, one of the iconic abilities in the game.
And you get to scream Godhole every...
The Godholes.
And
only when Zlapt is playing.
Is that so? Yeah.
No one else. No, Drunken
he
Master.
sure knows how to play it.
Fourth pick.
Okay, another Tempest Canceller. To a certain extent, at least. Can be a little bit tricky, of course. If you position the Elemental Void in Drunken Master's direction, then obviously he's not going to be able to cancel. But if he picks up a pull key, it's a Bushwhack.
It sure is. What is that coming from? Maybe boy on a Bushwhack here to finish it off. Interesting. Final pick. Is that... So...
I'm not entirely sure if it has any... Does it do well versus the Drunken Master in terms of... Or during the laning phase or anything like that? I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't say so. I don't think it would do very well versus... Or, obviously it would do good versus since he's ranged and Drunken Master is a melee, but... Aside from that, later on into the game, I feel like Drunken Master could actually be pretty decent versus the Bushwhack, so interesting pick indeed. I'm not entirely sure if the concept or the idea behind this pick is something with, that Splinter shot of his, the fact that you cause your basic attacks to deal, let's see here, 60% damage to enemies behind the target. If you then keep them locked down in, let's say, a Tempest ultimate, then of course that Splinter Shot is going to do tons of work.
Yeah. I love seeing Bushwhack. I mean, this is obviously not only a hero that we don't get to see often, but kind of a fun one. The sidestep, it seems like he's a carry that also can be pretty active. Now, at the same time, again, this hero is a little underwhelming with his ultimate, how it's just a dot, but don't underestimate it. It will add up the jungle toxin there and deal a good amount of damage throughout the fight. So, but yeah, the synergy here with that Elemental Void, the split shot as you're talking about, that's actually some interesting idea there. And being able to maximize, because obviously that's what something like a Clanks would be for as well, but of course not being able to be picked up here. So a similar idea, though, at the least, with the clumping up the other team and dealing a lot of damage to them as a result. So we are on the remake here, as we're talking about. Nier is back online, so it shouldn't be too long. Should be quickly remaking, and they should be able to do an all-pick lobby as well, which would be nice. So we can jump right into it.
One would hope so. They are connecting to a game right now, but it's actually private, so...
GG. Keeping us out.
Cannot get in quite yet. But that kind of tells me that it's not going to be all-pick. Tournament rules is private by default. All-pick is open for players to join. So, okay, never mind. He just... I guess he pressed private.
Maybe
game.
Just to press private, yeah. There we go. Well, it is all-pick. Thankfully, so once the players are all sitting good to go, we'll jump back into the game here and get into it. So, what did they final pick on the other side? I'm blanking. So caught up with the Bushwhack.
What was it? It was a Warbeast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did the Warbeast. So it is going to be a Suicide Warbeast as well because they already have the Parasite to jungle for them. So that means Warbeast will be matched up against the Bushwhack. If the lanes work out how you figure they will.
That should work out pretty well, actually, for complexity. Bushwhack, of course, if you force him to last it in the tower range, then, well, could be relatively problematic. I guess he got the Q spell to actually help him lasting as well, but... Warbeast, or, I mean, the Hellhounds as well, dealing a lot of damage, of course, to the Bushwhack, who is relatively squishy during the laning phase.
Yeah.
Or, well, throughout the entire game, actually.
Formless was on the Drunken Master, too, so a carry Drunken. The idea here, at least a farm priority Drunken Master going to be ran.
I've never seen it actually do well. I'm just going to put it out there. I've never seen a Drunken Master like full slotted.
It doesn't seem like it, does it? Yeah, he seems like he's more of like the sacrifice hero. But again, that's why he is kind of good, because he doesn't need a lot of farm to be really effective. Kind of like a Madman that we talk about a bit. Even these heroes like a Swift Blade who can play Suicide effectively because of that with potentially late game. But yeah, Drunken, you're right. It feels like we've really never seen him actually transition into a late game just snowball, or late game just a big time hero. But we'll see how Formless performs with it if it does happen to go late game here, which usually would be Complexity's MO. But again, as of late, both yesterday and apparently today even, they like to take care of business a little quicker, like you're talking about. Well, they got this roster change. It's Love in place of Baba Ganoush now, a new 5th player, and maybe just that changed the whole mindset. Again, new drafter even with it. So something does feel different, though, once again here. And
certainly is. Now for, Love here, like the new 5th player, I don't think that he's going to continue playing with them. I simply think that he's filling in for this cycle alone.
Yeah, we weren't sure on that. So you have more insight there that...
I do, but it's not my place to tell. Or it's not my...
Well, yeah, no, I'm not...
I think I should leave that for them.
I'm not asking you to leak information, but okay, that's interesting to know, though. All right, so Chu's officially coming back.
Yes.
That's what you meant to say.
You heard it here first.
Chu
no,
is
I heard it's
back.
Tralfamador. He's going to be playing the support role.
Yeah, right. No. Well, that'd be fun.
Seafrick?
That's not happening. Maybe Angry Testy, though. Maybe him.
Complexity, ringing for his
In fact,
fellow.
That's going to be the new team. It's going to be Angry Testy, Chu, Tralfamador, Z-Freak. They're all coming back, and they're just taking over the team.
All right.
That's what's happening. Totally. Yeah. Believe us. Okay, anyways. So we'll see where that leads. But, again, got to say that, Love, he's stepped in nicely then. if he's actually not going to be the new fifth, he's done a great job at least stepping in and performing well enough to help this team lead. Again, his first match that he played with them was against Sync Esports, and they won the game. So talk about a pretty good start for a player that making his first appearance at least on top-tier Diamond Division Han here.
Absolutely. I feel like he's been playing really well.
All right, so what is going on with Kongor? Oscar's over here.
Too much. He's just chilling.
They're just drinking
Saying
beers
hello.
together.
He's trying to get his fighting spirits up by, looking at this angry monkey. Just to make sure that he runs extra fast down the suicide lane.
I guess. That's an interesting place to be. But anyways, he's going to eventually roam on over. He's going to be spotted by the Warda site, though, so not really being too sneaky about it. But
the Hellhounds is here, the second one. The first one was actually consumed by the Tempest, spawning the Elemental Void. Or, not the Elemental Void,
yeah.
the Elemental, simply. But this pull is it actually going to be successful with a Hellhound with 28 HP? That's so unfortunate. Well, I think it kind of fulfilled
it's still
its purpose
accomplished,
here.
yeah. I think so. Wait, so where's Warbeast? Hold on. Warbeast is top. Okay, Formless is playing it. Okay, wow. So they did swap it up. That's kind of just hitting me. Because, yeah, when the other game, they readied up differently. But that makes sense, obviously. That wasn't actually a game there. They were remaking. So Oscar's on Drunken bottom. Formless is playing a short lane Warbeast. Wow.
Huh. Well.
That's different. Why this, though? Why not a short lane Drunken?
I don't know. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Huh.
I feel like they would have been off so much better if they actually had Warbeast in the suicide lane rather than in a 1-versus-1 situation.
Well, I wonder, Woody, though, because I do feel like Bushwhack's a pretty good lane.
Suicide lane, by the way, Oscar's dead.
That's what I'm watching here. Yeah, that's what I was just going to get at, but we'll see if this actually ends up in a kill. Very likely, yeah. Drunken, he has another stagger in 1 second. Oh, the disjoint! Yes, he's going to get it!
God, are you kidding me?
The timing there was perfect from Oscar. And he makes the escape. Meanwhile, middle lane, and this may turn to be a bloodlust kill for the Hellborn side, actually. As Macera, in a horrible spot, he doesn't have mana for anything. He's going to eat through the trees, though. Pops the health potion, and they will make the escape. Both teams making some pretty good jukes there in the end to actually stay alive. So we don't have a bloodlust kill just yet.
Yeah, we do.
And that was close.
That was incredibly close. Yeah, that was so well played by Oscar. Waiting with the stagger until the last second. I'm pretty sure that Imbowe would have gotten the kill if he would have pursued him a little bit more, or if he would have taken a little bit of a different direction. But he was so confident that he had that kill. He did not think of that stagger disjoint out attack. So definitely nice heads up there by Oscar.
Yeah, just coming off Coda. But this is what I was going to bring up, that maybe they feel like Bushwhack is going to be a great harassing laner with that Poison Dart especially, to where Warbeast may be vulnerable to that. Unlike a Drunken who at least has a stagger to help get away. So, was it maybe that, you think?
It has to be, I guess. I mean, there is really no other explanation, unless they just feel like, yeah, because I mean, I don't think Warbeast is necessarily gonna get too much farm up here at the top lane. Being 1-on-1 versus Behemoth, I guess he should do all right. But at the same time, Drunken Monster is, well, he's still stuck in level 1, and I just don't see the reasoning for why you would. I don't know when they picked up the Drunken Monster. I think it was 4th pick, but they clearly had an idea behind the pickup. And if that was for suicide purpose, or if that was simply a response to recent gaming picking up Bushwhack, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I feel like it was a wrong decision, at least being made by Complexity.
Yeah. All right, well, Drunken Master that's at level 2 right here. He's gonna have a creep rate push to the tower at least, so he'll soak up very likely to level 3 here. So yeah, slower start, but at least kind of starting to pick it up now. The glowing red hand's also coming out. You can see Warbeast at the top lane. He is, of course, going that Battlecry build, despite being in the short lane here. So, but yeah, short lane Warbeast, not something we see often. Quincy was here, so he'd kind of bring up some kind of stat. But unfortunately, Quincy unable to make it today. That whole real-life obligation stuff. So, middle lane, Midas is being boxed out pretty well, it seems like. Macera having some troubles. We saw him nearly get bloodlust early, but make a great escape in the end. However, Aluna Magnus proven to be a tough time here for Macera. And Magnus, I assume he's doing pretty damn good in the last hits. Yeah, 19 and 12. Compared to a 6-1 Midas here. Moira going at it with Drunken Master for the bottom rune. I think Moira's going to get it first. Only a refreshment rune, but it actually might... Oh, no, it was Invis, excuse me. I thought it was a refreshment for a second. So that actually is what saves her. That was a big rune.
There's no lunge up on Oscar either playing the Drunken Master. Otherwise, I think he could have almost secured that invisibility rune. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see it from the start, but he's chosen to go 2 levels in Stagger, actually.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. I don't know. Does that reduce the cooldown? Let's see.
It does.
Actually, it does. It does reduce one cooldown. Okay, so I guess it makes sense. Then he's just trying to survive.
Yeah, you get some charges
But
also.
right now, he might have overcome. Yeah.
So much for surviving.
Exactly. Curse's curse. You're welcome.
Again, Bushwhack, not a hero we see often, but you really can't underestimate the hero's lane potential. Like that poison dart, it's annoying. It's a lot of damage, pretty low cooldown, minimal mana cost for this hero.
Top lane, by the way.
You can kind of spam it pretty frequently. Top lane, Warbeast in trouble actually. Ulti form, it's not going to be enough though. One more auto attack? No, it's not enough. The health potion tick. Just enough of
cannot
formless.
believe the second that they used the Fisher was the second that he got level 6. That was so incredibly lucky from Formless.
Yeah. Good timing there indeed. But yeah, Bushwhack, I gotta think, no matter what the matchup was, he's actually probably one of the stronger laning heroes in the game. As actually, Moira, what is happening over here? Gets found by Love and dies. What was that about?
Power of the battle cry. I don't know, he was low after being up at the top, and I guess he didn't expect Alana Luna to randomly pop up there. But nice heads up at least by Love here playing the Luna. And of course that's going to provide a little bit more of assist goal as well for the Warbeast.
Yeah. Bushwhack having a very good start. Imba Boy, 425 gold per minute. I think we have actually seen Imba Boy play this hero before a couple times. It is kind of, I'm having some flashbacks now. I remember
a few times, but not anything recent.
No, definitely not recent for sure, but fun to see again, and excited to see how he excels. Obviously, again, off to the great start. Now, what kind of build do we expect on him? He seems like he's pretty traditional ranged carry. I don't think anything too different going to be here. As top lane, Behemoth, face up coming out. A couple of auto attacks. No, the shockwave, though, it's going to stop it. His Formless going to chase. He wants to. However, he kind of stuttered there. The Fisherstone blocks. TP coming in.
Oh, the
he
TP
gets the kill.
saves the Warbeast.
You're right, though. The tower damage stopped. That's a tough call, though. Like, you can't, not expecting a TP, but...
You cannot necessarily blame Tempest by any means. Actually, he's going to go down.
Yeah.
Tankafed is 100% dead here.
Now, speaking of TP, again, it's going to stop the tower damage. He's going to die, and now Moira's here by herself. Okay, she has the Elemental, so...
Warbeast.
Is that actually going to get a kill on Warbeast? What level are they? They're level 3. It is. They get the kill on Warbeast. It comes to the cost, though. Moira is going to fall, but now Drunken Master, it's his turn. The block! Oh, the block! Beautiful play from Tankafed after death to secure some kills. Okay, that somehow worked out for the Legion team pretty well. I don't know how.
All planned. Definitely a beautiful micro from Tanka once more. But yeah, that initial scenario right there where Tankafed ports in, obviously, Sane is going to be screaming port, more or less. I'm being dived at the top lane, so obviously he's not going to have the time to actually make the decision, should I port in or should I wait? He's just going to port as soon as he hears Sane's voice screaming that he's being dived. So,
yeah.
But in the end, it worked out pretty well.
And it did. Behemoth.
Mid lane, by the way, Eruption. No, it's going to be cancelled.
It is an Elemental Void actually pulling him in as well. Fuzzy's Thoth in trouble. Has the illusion room. Maybe can use it right here. Not going to happen. Uses it, but doesn't matter in the end. So, meanwhile, Moira does get picked off by Oscar.
And that's what happens when you use your illusion and you don't pay attention to your surroundings.
That's true.
Oscar is standing there hitting him.
So what was that about? He went for the eruption, and did it go off, or it got canceled?
No, it got cancelled last second.
Gotcha. So
by the Glacial Blast on Tempest. Luckily for Masira on Midas, Tankafed was farming the Jello creep, or the Jello spawn, just as that happened.
So Imba Boy, 475 gold per minute, and he just got a Thunderclaw as well to go with his Steam Boot. So he is again, this is just very Clanks-like. It really is with the style, and I think that I really expect to basically see the same items, honestly, on him. The Thunderclaw into the Firebrand, into a Shrunken, into, what does he go after that? Maybe even like a full Wingbow or Geometer's Bane first, perhaps, but
Very likely.
Yeah.
I would say that Genjuro is probably going to be picked up by this hero as well.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
later
that's
stages. Actually, they're looking for Masera in the mid lane, but I think he's going to be fine. Drunken Monster, though, is going to find... Or wait, who is going to find who?
That's the question, isn't it? In fact, Drunken Master, yep, he is going to be gone on initially. Staggers in. He has the Untouchable up. There's the Fidget Stun, though. Doesn't really care too much about the Untouchable. In comes Bushwhack, the auto attack. So much damage, especially with the Thunderclap proc. And eventually falls after that. So again, Bushwhack, a hero that upfront burst may not necessarily be the craziest, but you let him get a couple of auto attacks off in you even, it will add up with that Jungle Toxin once again. Of the damage per second. It stacks up to, what, 6 times? So, yeah, you
Top
can't do
lane, by the way, the tower... No, never mind. It's going to be killed. For a moment there, I thought that Sane might be able to, or might look to go for the deny attempt, but not going to happen. He's going to play it safe instead. And, well, Warbeast not doing it too bad. He's actually up to almost 400 gold per minute now with that tower kill. So, not necessarily keeping up with Bushwhack by any means, but... still, he doesn't really have to, like, in numbers. I mean, he's still going to be able to do very well versus the Bushwhack when it comes to the late game in 1 versus 1 situations. Wow. Of course, with a Brutalizer and a movement speed.
Moira had 3 life, I'm pretty sure, right there. But actually it manages to escape. Parasite chose not to chase, as Midas was nearby. So, just happens to be the perfect amount of life for Moira to just barely stay alive. Want to ask, what should we expect to see on this Warbeast? Again, very different, playing more the hard carry, the short lane farming role.
Bottom lane, by the way, really well played by Recent Gaming. They timed it perfectly, the coordination, and I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for a kill. Once again, though, the freaking port! Are you kidding me?
That's so
okay,
unfortunate,
it's probably
TP.
not going to be enough. Magnus going to get it back.
Oh, he couldn't get there in time. He ends up going down. Yeah. Well played by Magnus at least, so. But yeah, TP saving the day initially, preventing the damage coming out. So yeah, but back to Warby. So I don't know, what is he gonna go? Something different here? Or is it maybe gonna be a little bit more like a Soul's Bulwark, Demonic, even Brutalizer? Will he go like a puzzle box? You think?
I would love to see a puzzle box. Not entirely sure how the recipe situation is looking. Like I know that Parasite is of course rushing one as well, so he's not going to be able to get it as a secondary item. But potentially as a third item, Warbeast could pick it up if the recipes are off cooldown. I'm not entirely sure actually when they refresh. I know it's limited at least.
Yeah.
But Brutalizer, definitely the Shrunken Head. Like you need to be careful for the Tempest Shrunken Head, but as long as they got Drunken Monster or Parasite on that, I feel like as long as he sits on, or as long as he activates Drunken Head, has a Brutalizer on him, and focuses the Bushwhack in the team fights, Complexity should be able to do pretty well for themselves.
Yeah. No, again, it's worth pointing out, too, that Bushwhack is all physical. The Toxin, the Crippling Dart, that's actually physical damage that's applied, not magical damage. So things like a Shrunken Head obviously still great to have, you could argue, but at the same time, he will still be able to right-click through it and do good damage. Now, we also had an instance here where Magnus was actually trying to set up a gank. He actually started channeling the Eruption as Bushwhack was running over. However, Bushwhack saw him and sidestepped away, and then Magnus just kind of walked away, too, figuring it wasn't even worth it at that point to finish channeling it. So, not really a big harm there, other than the ability being on cooldown now.
Intimidation tactics.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's all about the mentality.
Drunken Master, now we have actually seen him appeared a little bit lately from teams like X-Sync. We saw him yesterday a couple times, I want to say, and most, if not even all the games, I believe he actually went for a Helm of the Black Legion for really his first item. So I wonder if Oscar's going to keep that theme. Yeah, Drunken Master.
I would hope he doesn't in this game. I don't think that he's going to be able to, or I don't think he has the luxury to actually go for a defensive item like that. I feel like he needs something that buffs up his damage or his farm potential a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Parasite or Drunken Monster is going to have to look into getting that pole key of theirs in the near future as well. As soon as Tempest gets his pole key or his Shrunken Head. Actually, knowing it's Tankafet playing in the Tempest, I would assume that he's actually going to skip the pole key and go straight for the Shrunken Head.
Yeah, as he has Stalebo ready here, so we'll see how that works. The Mighty Blade picked up on Warbeast. Could be a Shrunken, could be a Brutalizer. At this rate, probably more of the Shrunken here. Going to be coming out. Yeah, you see Immoboy in his build. As I kind of predicted, very similar to what he does on Clinks, really. The
Yeah,
Gotta
he
call
needs
that
to farm,
experiment.
or I mean, the reason for why his gold per minute isn't necessarily increasing though is just because he has to share farm with Tempest. Like they have to make a decision: do we want to focus farm onto Tempest, or do we want to focus farm onto Bushwhack? And seeing as they went for the Astro on Tempest, and they're still sticking behind or still sitting on their side, just farming. Actually, they're gonna go right in here.
Oh,
Do
wow.
they have vision?
They just charged in like crazy. Tempest, the element, when it goes off, he avoided the stun, and Warbase is going to be locked down the whole time. And meanwhile, the background, Midas picks off a Luna, and it's a 2-for-0 exchange. Yeah, he just ran up there. I mean, the ward side over here in the lane, it obviously saw enough right there for them to feel confident just charging on up, and they were right to do so.
And YOLO all the way. No, but that was a nice commitment, definitely from recent gaming. That's gonna secure 2 kills. And at this point, I mean, that's like, yeah, it might be. Nah, okay, I'm not gonna say game deciding by any means. It wasn't
No.
like Warbeast was close to a shrunken head, but those kind of small things, just like that, getting 2 kills, that's just. It means a lot, at least, for this Legion team.
Ooh, Drunken TP's out right as Mora's running in. That could have been dangerous, but he is fine in the end. Gets on out of there. Bottom lane, they're trying to set up a gank as Bushwhack, Behemoth, and Midas. Behemoth does have that portal key. Midas doesn't, but can, of course, assist still. Drunken Master, they're not showing themselves, though. Complexity knows something's up.
Yeah, they got a
all
warp
thanks to the
sight right
ward.
there.
Yeah, that's why. Spotting all this happening. You see Bushwhack there even coming on up, but again, they're going to be spotted, so this isn't going to work out too well for the Legion side, and they would probably pick up on this. However, by the time they come to even rev ward it, it's probably even going to be gone anyway, so not really that big of a deal, but they're going to look to farm elsewhere as those kills are not going to be happening.
Yeah, they are. Fuzzy, by the way, has been relatively. Oh, actually, what you got is going to pick up a kill in mid. Arcane Vortex still going to find the catapult.
That looked funky coming out of it, but wow, he's actually managed to almost slip away right there. But not really. The fissure block, Midas easily follows and gets the kill. So got the tower kill. Does come at a cost, but not too bad still.
Oh, it was probably an okay trade. Fuzzy, as I was talking about just previously, like he has been relatively quiet, but he's farming really good, almost even topping Warbeast gold per minute at this point. 370 gold per minute here. I'm interested to see what he goes next. It looks by the item build or that book of his that he's going for the tablet. Obviously, that's a great Tempest Canceller, and this guy goes down.
I mean, I know Behemoth was some good burst there, but I really feel like Bushwhack. We're going to start seeing more and more of really the damage he's able to put out throughout this game, and it's going to be pretty impressive because just right there, it seemed like he did a good amount. I mean, he's actually leading the hero damage charts. When a hard carry is leading the hero damage charts overall, you know you're in a pretty good spot. That's exactly what Bushwhack's doing here, so good pick onto him. The Ancients over here, once again, on the Hellborn side, they're actually going to fall back from them. It almost looked like they were going to think about doing them, but maybe they tried to stack them, but Zane, the rev ward you see there, is actually blocking it, so good heads up by Zane on Behemoth. Warby's still trying to finish that Shrunken. Drunken Master also going to be going the Shrunken, it looks like. So yeah, he's going to kind of break the trend as of late here. And will pass up the Helm of the Black Legion, as he pointed out. Maybe just this game, a little too defensive if he was to go that.
That was probably the case. He would have been a non-factor for way too long if he were to go for the Helm of the Black Legion. At least with a Shrunken Head, he's going to be able to lock down, hopefully at least lock down the Tempest in the teamfights. Tempest, by the way, went for that Polky route. I would assume that that's mostly because of the fact that he cannot find any farm in the forest, seeing as Bushwhack takes up so much space.
Yeah.
So this is going to go for the utility item instead and just try to make himself as useful as possible. Actually going to buy, smoke up here with a Veiled Rot and look for yet another kill.
He's being sneaky here. You see Magnus, almost a candidate to jump, but a little too far away. They're heading towards the bottom lane. Bushwhack pushing on up. Tempest coming in with a flank. This could be big. They're going to jump Bushwhack first. Tempest nearby, though. He comes in with the elemental one, and only at one, though. He gets tabbeted immediately. However, Drunken Master is in a bad spot. That fissure block doing work. Bushwhack runs back in. The auto attacks. He's completely blocked in right there. He goes down. The Arcane Vortex also going to catch somebody else. I think that's a Luna, actually. Yeah, she's kind of caught behind. They don't want her, though. They want Magnus and more. Chasing after Magnus. Magnus does go down, but it might come at a cost here. Behemoth will fall. And now the chase is on. Warby's in that ulti form. Going to go after Moira. However, takes a stun. You see Bushwhack running in, putting the damage out. And Warbeast, though, not going to really feel too threatened there. Eventually chases down and kills more.
Oh,
Mauler
Paris is gonna get a kill in
explosion
bot
coming
lane.
out, gets the Kona bushwhack. And now Midas is in a little bit of trouble. Elemental warping away. Temp is also the same story. Okay, he's going to try to run the other way. Somehow still alive throughout all this. I don't think it's going to be a long time, though, as he is going to be chased down and killed off right there.
Somehow,
Complexity.
Complexity actually coming out on top. That started out so well for the Legion team. Backfired big time when Complexity jumped in onto the bushwalk, but chasing a little bit too far, and Complexity taking full advantage of that, actually winning that fight with 4-3, or 4-2 even.
Was it that? Yeah.
Yeah, they only lost Magnus and Drunken Monster now when I look back at it. Aluna stayed alive.
Yeah, the fact that was interesting. I found that very interesting. Illuna was in a bad spot. They had the Arcane Vortex on it and everything, but they didn't even care. They actually went for the Magnus and the Warbeast in the background, and I think that kind of proved to be a bad decision, obviously, in the end. However, now Warbeast, he gets caught. No ulti form on him. Oh, he does have it, but he couldn't even use it the whole time. He got locked down too much. And the Shockwave to lead that off. Parasite.
He's gonna go down unless he gets TP support.
Maybe
There is a Midas combination up, and
nice
yeah.
stop. Combo coming out. There's the kill. Drunken Master, though. He got the puzzle box out. That could be a difference maker to kill in this behemoth right here. You see Drunken the Untouchable. Not much Midas can do to save him. He buys a Void Talisman right before he dies, at least. So he got something there, but he does die in the end.
At least doesn't lose any gold in the process. Mid lane is going to be pushed here. Where is Fuzzy? He's actually pushing the tier 2 tower at bottom, so he's not going to try to defend this with an eruption, or maybe they are.
Yeah. Apologize, my mouse actually just died on me, it feels like. My mouse is not moving at all.
So they're going to hold for now. Nice attempt there as well with that power throw, of course, or that Emerald Lightning from Aluna. Not quite going to hit the mark this time, but better luck next time.
Wow. This is weird. Oh, no. I don't know what's going on right now, but my keyboard is also dead as well, so
Let's see.
my computer's being attacked. No.
Dragon Monster actually got a DD rune and